You're now listening to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Glenn. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Johnny. And we're joined in the studio today by, once again, one of my favorite people to have on this show and talk to in general, Juancho Saldana, TCG caster and Terabox genius. I'm so excited to have you on here today, Juancho. How you doing today?
Doing good. And not gonna lie, that's probably one of my favorite tags now. Terabox Genius. Gonna add that to my resume.
I
No, but yeah,
can't
very
wait.
excited to talk.
Yeah, awesome. Johnny, you doing all right?
Yeah, doing good. It's an early morning for us here, and I
True.
think a nice relaxing evening for Wancho over there.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that we'll slowly wake up as we go into this.
No, I'm awake, man. I'm excited.
Again, by the way, guys,
Yeah.
for waking up early for this.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for
Wouldn't
the
have
world.
it any other way.
Awesome. So, we previously had a plan to have you on right before Worlds at some point. Obviously, things happened and that we didn't quite get that opportunity. But this, honestly, I'm just as excited for a post-Worlds interview because there's some really interesting topics I'd like to talk about that we really wouldn't have gotten your insight into had we had that pre-Worlds interview.
For sure.
And I think the first of those things that I'd like to talk about is actually your Worlds experience. So Pokemon Worlds this year was in Anaheim, California, and it was a little different, I feel, than it normally was. At least to me. So in my big, like, I've been on a big production kick lately and set design type of stuff, and I feel like from a production standpoint, Anaheim this year really kicked it up a notch.
Oh no.
So
yeah.
What do you think about, I don't know how much like your mind goes to like the production and behind the scenes stuff, since you obviously have that experience, but I'm curious as to what you thought of just the visuals, the atmosphere at Anaheim this year, Juancho.
No, I mean, just getting to play in that arena was something else. I mean, I didn't get to play in the arena. I mean, just being able to watch and people play in the arena, that was something else. That was literally something taken out of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime at that
Truly.
point, right? I literally posted on Twitter that, I can't believe we beat Yu-Gi-Oh to this, and I posted the dual stadium stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stadium was awesome.
It was very, very cool to see, and I know a little bit of the background that work that had to go into that too. Like, there's an entire team of people just to work on the graphics, and I think you've seen that in like the even in just the regional. In the regional championships, just shout out to the TCG crew in the background. There's so many people in the back, like behind the black curtain. So many people just working on this, and I feel like it all led up to the experience at the stadium. Really,
Yeah.
it was phenomenal. It was such an amazing experience. Even like all the performances too. There was like a live orchestra thing.
Yeah.
While there was like
the cam study also. He performed, right?
Yeah. And then while there were performers on stage, and then the stage would also light up in accordance to the performance.
So cool.
Oh my god, blew my mind.
No, I believe it.
I got to be a part of the closing video. If there's a music video for the event and my family's out there just waving.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. You're kind of like, at least in a lot of circles we're in, you are definitely, when it comes to TCG, one of like the icons represented in like some of the media, because I think you're kind of that guy of like, oh, like me and my family all enjoyed this franchise together, and you're involved in just about every branch of it, as far as like you play, you cast, you do it all, man. You're kind of an icon in that way, and I think it's really cool and fitting that you're in that video. And yeah, you're super right about the behind the black curtain, everybody involved there. I heard it's been maybe a year or so, but I heard Chip Ritchie on Uncommon Energy talking about how he was, just some details about being like a what is it called? It's called a
analyst.
Analyst, but I think it was a subject matter specialist.
Oh yeah.
because there's like the two roles and like going back and forth when you're
So that
casting, and then
Mhm.
having the media to like put stuff up in real time.
Yeah.
That's so cool to me. You were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. The subject matter expert. I actually interviewed him in one of the regionals, so I feel like it's okay to pull the curtain out of that. There's literally a guy backstage whose entire job is that he knows the game and he can
Mm-hmm.
help out in all aspects of the broadcast. Like he's the one who tells, "Oh, it's time to flash in maybe uh it's time to flash in a Badu or something because that's going to be something that's going to be big coming up match, something like that." So again,
Oh, that's
so
really
many
cool.
people backstage, and that's just one of them. And it's one of them is just he knows the game really well.
Nice. That's a cool role.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
super fun.
Those are such interesting roles, because then I'm curious. I'm like, I would love to play against somebody like that, because they know the game so well. They're obviously involved in like they watch so many games, like high level play. I'm curious to know like what that skill expression would be like. It seems like it'd be a
His
lot of
name's
fun.
Mo in the background. Just I've interviewed him on one of the regionals, so I'm pretty sure it's cool to talk about it. And then he plays in a lot of regional championships too. If he's not working it, he'll try and compete. So maybe you will compete him. If you
That's
beat
super
him, maybe you take his job, right?
Yes. I'm gonna wager your job on this game of Pokemon. That'd be cool though. I've talked about with Johnny backstage about like wanting to get people like that on the show, just because it
Yeah.
seems like an absolute blast to talk about.
Mm.
And I'm a big like background type of
Mhm.
nerd.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion always with a lot of interviews and stuff like this. You'll see people talk about um, the game a lot, but it's really cool to kind of get a look behind the curtain, get a look at everything else besides the game. The game is like,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the regional events, it's such, I feel like, a big part, but also such a small part at the same time. With everything else going on, the logistics, the presentation, it's all really cool.
Yeah. I even had an opportunity recently when we were technically on break for the show for the summer. I interviewed my friend Henry Cortez, who was actually, his company was the people staffed with like making sure employees were clocking in for NAIC and Worlds the way they were supposed to. They were like handling time cards and everything. His company was doing that stuff, and it was cool to get his like behind the scenes view as well. And he's also just a great dude. He fell in love with Pokemon at NAIC, so and that's just, it's always a cool time to talk about that stuff, and it's interesting to fall in love with it from that perspective. All right, but I think we've talked. No, I actually do want to bring this up. It's all, I don't know. I love the production of Worlds so much. I think that stage, it felt simultaneously like the actual like arena itself felt very Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But then seeing it in the middle of this stadium with lights all up on it and just like the walkway lit up, it looked like something straight out of like the Pokemon anime. Truly,
Yeah.
it was very much like setting up every player to Aura Farm, and I think it was perfect. I really hope they use that set next year as well, or at least an iteration on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But cool. Let's talk about, Juancho, now your specific experience playing in Worlds this past year. So what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so unfortunately didn't quite make day 2, but I went 4-4 in what I feel like the most competitive field there is. I mean, this was the Worlds where there was 125 US Masters, for example, and then which is very, very tight. And like even just for the Philippines, only the top 8 get to qualify, and
Which is
we have a
crazy.
player base of like upwards of 500. So,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's like that for every country. So literally every player you played against was potentially a top 10 player in their respective region, which is definitely I felt it. There was no free game. No, every game felt like a fight. Every game felt like an experience to be able to learn and all that. And yeah, and the fact that I went 4-4, I broke even. I'm very proud of. I played Raging Bolt, and again, it's going into it like the go. It's one of those things where I trusted my data over the overall data because did I disconnect? No. Okay.
No, we
Um,
still got you.
yeah. So I went into Worlds. I decided to just start doing the Excel spreadsheet thing. I know that's what the Azul's group like to do, have like a shared spreadsheet and all that. So I started doing that, putting in data for all the decks that I would consider. Make sure I have enough games in all the decks I've played in. This is one where I was really grinding in live as well. So I was upwards of 1800 plus in Elo. I was running into Justin Newdorf a lot, actually. Shout out Gumi35. He even shouted me out after he went second at Worlds, right? He went second. He shouted me out. Oh, he messaged me and he was like, "Thanks for the games." He learned something from one of our games and he was able to apply into top 8. I thought, oh my god, that's so cool.
Oh, that is cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I was working on data and my data was like Raging Bolt. My version of Raging Bolt anyway was doing really well. So I was just like, let's go with this one. But yeah, fortunately 4-4 didn't quite make day 2. It was a couple of things I didn't prepare for again. Sure. I got eliminated by a Togekiss deck that flipping 4 heads straight on me. I was prepared to against my Goldengo matchup is phenomenal thanks to the Briar. Just all I care about is taking the first prize and then from there I'll do 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
I can't do 1, 2, 3 if you're gonna go take extra prize cards every turn. Briar's turn gets skipped. So that's what happened. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then I lost to one of someone who ended up making it to top 10. He was playing Dragapult Dusknoir. I lost to that twice. I feel like I don't know what I could have done with my deck to make it have a better matchup into some of the best Dragapult Dusknoir players out there, but felt like I had a shot. I felt like the games were close, and I started the day playing against Gardevoir, which is my worst matchup in theory, and I beat that, so I was like over the moon. So 4-4, I'm proud of it. I'm proud to make it to the Worlds. I'm proud to be able to play against these players, and honestly, it was quite the experience.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now we understand also your partner and y'all's kid also were in the invitations to Worlds. Did they have similar experiences to you as far as like playing?
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us made it to day 2.
No,
but it's all right. I mean, it was my son's first World. He's like 9. He's in the younger end, and it's his first time traveling to compete. He's only ever done best of 1. He's never even played best of 3 competitively. So this
that is a culture shock for sure.
I know.
A whole day of Pokemon were, and then it's my partner's first time at Worlds 2, but we flew to NAIC to get practice actually so that she knows what it feels like. Unfortunately, we played the same 60 and I think she just she ran into a lot worse matchups, I think.
Dang.
But again, she was happy just to be there and compete. It was kind of insane that we all traveled there together, to be honest. We mentioned, I feel like it was Chip who mentioned it in his podcast where he was like, we are the first family to ever qualify, like mom, dad, and kiddo.
Really? That's awesome.
Like,
that's so
our moniker here in the Philippines now. We're like the first family. Fantastic Four type stuff.
True. That's awesome.
No, it was
like you said, your icons. Man.
It was weird too, like being a dad and a competitor. A competitor's parent and being a competitor, because it was tough. I was trying to make sure my son was comfortable and all that. So first couple of rounds, we all start together, right? So I made sure he gets into his table before I get to mine. And I was actually late-ish to my second round opponent. I'm sure if he pushed it, he could have gotten the judge call where if you're late, you have to go win-win. There's no tie, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he could push that, but luckily he was nice enough, I guess. But I ended up winning anyway, win-win. So it didn't matter.
Let's go.
But I was late, and I was like, yeah, I might have to. Luckily I had support from other Pokemon parents. I was like, maybe I just should have more faith in that. But first couple of rounds, I had to bring him to table, make sure he's all right, especially since he lost his first game, and make sure he's doing okay. His mental state's not, he's not like getting disappointed. And I'm glad to say that he was a very good sport the entire tournament. He only had 2 wins, but hey, 2 wins in Worlds, that's big.
That's way more Worlds wins than I have.
Yeah, and it was a good sport. I have videos actually of him playing where he's like, even while he's playing, he's doing actions with his hands and everything.
Oh, that's so good.
He's hype, and he got like a ton of freebies from his opponents, which I thought was really cool. Like they'd give him like free things for playing, and I was like, man, I should give that.
Oh,
make sure he's prepared next year.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and my wife though was just like, once her match is up, she just bolts. Leaves me with it.
She's like, I'm getting out of here, man.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, Johnny, I think you had some questions on this. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to refer to you too much. I'm so excited.
I was gonna say, I actually kind of on the build up to Worlds, how did y'all kind of, I guess, work together? Did you all test together at all? Did you have other people you tested with in your area as well that you were going with, or was it just like you as a group?
A lot of times it's just us as a group. Me and my partner are we're testing partners, really. Yeah,
that's good.
The nice thing is, the minute I wake up, I know I can bug someone to play if ever.
Oh, what a luxury.
And then for my son, I act like as a coach, right? And this was another hat I had to put on. This was interesting. This was a very interesting. Again, it was very stressful, to be honest. Like, because I've never coached anyone before. Besides, like, I've never actually coached anyone. I'm like, I have to try and, a different hat for my son. And I was one of those, okay, we have to make sure we do some games every day leading up to Worlds. We have our goals. We have to figure out what deck you want to play. So I made sure I presented him with decks that I feel like would do well in juniors, and he had to try them out. And it's more of like it's parenting at the same time coaching, right? So I was just like, I had to make sure he was disciplined enough going into Worlds that he was getting games in, maybe, and then like I have to watch, and then when I coach him, when he does a misplay or whatnot, I have to make sure I can correct a couple of misplays or correct a couple of even just game mannerisms, make sure he can finish up and all that jazz, teach him best of 3. It was very tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. Actually, that had to be like the hardest part of Worlds, to be honest, was coaching. And it was, it's nerves too, right? Because like I'm a dad and I want to make sure my kiddo does well, It was
right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot. So there was that. And then we have our local scene. Unfortunately, we have to like drive an hour to like the best place to practice, really.
Sure.
So, but they were supporting us. We even sponsored by this shop, and in turn, a lot of local brands. It was really cool, actually. This shop set up. The shop was really, really good at finding brands to sponsor us. We were sponsored like by Jollibee, Ford.
What?
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's insane. Like if you saw our jersey, jersey was like filled with sponsors, and we even have like a Team Philippines jacket. There was a press release. That was insane. Oh my God. We were like all wearing the jacket, and then there's like legitimate press from like the newspapers, from TV stations that we had to do going to Worlds. That was cool. Like again, the fact that they were able to put that together was insane. But
that's so awesome.
We're talking about prep. Yeah, again, it was.
That is so interesting.
That's so definitely part of it too. Yeah. That's so sick.
Yeah. Not to mention, actually, I had to PR prep my kiddo too.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I knew we were going to be on TV, so I was like, I had to make sure he was like, not. I don't know, like make sure he's saying the right things, almost like nothing too. Something good on TV, right? No, not memeing around.
Right.
And then that worked out because we were also interviewed on Worlds too. So
true.
Something weird I had to teach, I guess.
That's so interesting. You don't think about that stuff when you think about like, oh, it's really impressive. This whole family's going to Worlds. And then it's like, by the way, now there's immediately a PR class happening in that household that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. So you got to think it's like, all right, got to make sure that you're talking to the news reporters the right way. Here's how to look into a camera, right? Oh, that's like, so interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I wanted to make sure, when he answered, it was more than just one word answers. Make sure he's not like, because if a kid gets into a position like that, of course they're nervous, right?
Sure.
Like the best thing they could probably go with is like, oh, how are you feeling going to Worlds? Good, stuff like that. That's how it started, right? It'd be like, good. I'm just like, okay, let's try and tell a story. Let's be excited. Like let's try to be able to make sure that you can express how you actually feel. Get past the nervousness. Again, that was training.
Wow.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
It was interesting past couple months.
No, I'm certain it was. Cool. Do we have anything else, Johnny, that we wanted to talk about regarding prep before we move on? Also, sorry if you heard that. My cat just knocked something over.
No, the other thing actually that I was gonna bring up was maybe like for kind of ties in with prep, and then I think it'll kind of follow into like after everything too. Did you have like any sort of pre-event, like pre-Worlds kind of ritual or something like that? Like, do you have like something, I guess, that you do before like big events, either or just any other events locally as a family? And then do you kind of have anything that you follow up with? Like, is it like, oh, just something like a simple, like, pep talk, or like, do you guys have like a fun way to celebrate at the end? Kind of like the pre and post of it,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like now, every time we do a trip, every time there's a tournament, there's actually a big tournament next weekend, but like we make it a trip. We make it like, we're going to book a hotel. We're going to make sure, because it's like an hour plus drive or whatnot. We'll book a hotel. We'll make sure that we're rested the day before. We like to listen to, I forget what it was called. We listened to like this one specific song going into the world. Oh, I can't remember it. It was like this TikTok song that I can't remember it. But yeah, it's in my wife's Spotify. We listened to that. We did this like into nationals, and we did really well, right? So we're listening to music. We make sure on the drive up, and then we after the event, we make sure it's also a good time. Win or lose, whatever happens, we'll have like a little celebration dinner for like, oh, good job. We're tired. We'll make sure we'll eat well. We'll eat like at a fancy restaurant or something we really wanted to try. Excuse me. And then from there, it's just, it's just the dinner is the big part. And then if there's anything else to do, sometimes we go like to a museum that's close by or whatnot. There's like this, like there was like one time we went to like a Marvel museum. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
And
that's so fun.
At Worlds, it was like that too, I guess, except now it was to the extreme, because we went to Disneyland, which was cool.
Oh,
because we want to,
nice.
You have to relate the competition, good or bad, to a good experience. Oh, that's what I was thinking for my kid anyway, that, when we do this, it's always a good experience. No matter what, it's a good experience. And I think that's how we relate it now.
Yeah. No,
that's a really
awesome.
cool insight. I think maybe even just for players as a whole. I think I think in the tournaments that I've gone to where I've had a good time outside of the tournament, but like done really poorly, I've still had a blast. And in the tournaments where I've like maybe done a little better, but didn't quite have the bolstering of like a really fun time outside of the tournament, even if I did better and didn't quite like win or do top whatever, like I think mentally I still like don't associate those with my best runs, which is interesting. I think that's the psychology of that's really cool. Which means I'm just gonna have to start doing more stuff. Like I remember Johnny and I and two of our other friends went to Atlanta together. We roomed together. And while that was for sure my best run in a regional, it was also like just the most fun that I've had playing Pokemon, because we explored. We went to some restaurants. We like had a good time. We hung out. I lost like 3 hours of footage. It was I had recorded like the whole thing for a vlog and found out my camera had, not only did it have a really incorrect timestamp go in the whole time in the top left, but also it had not recorded a second of audio. But like I think back on that trip and I'm like, oh no, that was like, even though the experience as far as a competition goes, like none of us in our group made day 2. We still like all made it further than we have before, and we had just such a blast. At least I don't know, I did.
No, it was a ton of fun for me too. That was my first regional experience on that trip. I'm like still very new to Pokemon. Like 2024, 2025 was my first like full season from start to finish. And so just getting to go to just one regional and drag along my very pregnant wife at the time.
Cassie was such a champ for that. Oh my gosh. My God.
Yeah. So it was a ton of fun, but you know, it was cool to like go to an event with people and have people to spend a full time with, you know. And I think like, that definitely needs to be said, that like you go and you make it about Pokemon for your time there that you're going to play Pokemon, but the time that you're not playing Pokemon, I think should be dedicated to stuff that is just fun, things that are different. It can still be Pokemon related. I think a lot of us, we had a lot of fun doing like we did like cubes and some of the tournaments for like GLC. Like that's what we did a lot of actually outside of like standard play, was just a lot of
so much GLC.
And it was so much fun to like just take a break and a step back from like standard format while we were there. So yeah, I can totally get that. And then even afterwards, you know, like you said, going to like a museum, my wife and I, we went to the Georgia Aquarium there in Atlanta for that event. So yeah, very, very similar kind of experience. I told her, I was like, all right, we'll go do something fun that's not Pokemon related now that, you know, everything's done, so that, you know, it can be just something, you know, for fun for everyone, not just me and my friends, you know.
True. Your wife was such a champ for that.
Oh my God,
truly.
Yeah. But no, that's so cool to just get that family perspective, I feel, from everything, especially, you know, someone who's got so much experience between casting, between playing, time, you know, spent with Pokemon, and then this new Worlds experience. I think for y'all is probably one of the coolest things ever, honestly. Like I'm such a big fan of that family aspect, honestly, and being able to go as a group like that to Worlds. That's so cool. Yeah.
You guys made history in that way, which is sick. I'm reminded of another friend I have who I've been yapping about this podcast for a long time, but there is a Pokemon D&D podcast that I listen to and have roped Johnny into listening to called Dunsparce and Drampa. And one of the players in that campaign, I don't want to like say her full name, but her family holds the record for like the largest group of like the largest family competing at a Pokemon event, or I think it's something along those lines. But she, like, her family holds the world record for largest number of like players in a Pokemon event that are in the same family. I think that's what it is specifically. So those kind of things are really cool to me. It's interesting to see family, like a family unit doing that. It's also something that like at least I would like aspire to do. So it's I don't know, it's touching. It is a moment. I think we've touched on it a lot and said a lot how cool it is, but I think we're even delving into overstating it, but I don't know. Me and Johnny, I know that's something that we think is really cool.
Yeah.
I guess kind of moving forwards from that. Now, I'm curious as to where to go from here, because I didn't want to transition directly into like deck choice. But I guess we can do that. There's some data we can talk about. Now, since we've spoken last, Logia has unfortunately rotated and is no longer on the menu to play. But I understand that you have been playing one of our favorite decks a lot. Even if you didn't play it to Worlds, I understand that you are really, really big on TerraBox, that you've kind of found it to be a niche thing that you enjoy running. How did you come to love TerraBox, and what do you think are some of the maybe best strengths it has, and maybe some underappreciated tech cards in it?
Yeah. I mean, Terrabox at the time, right? I felt like was the new deck to play. It was so shiny. There's it helps too that the Terra Pokemon have like special borders and
Yeah,
it was
they look
extra
really cool.
shiny. So I immediately gravitated to that, and I wanted to try it out. I love box style decks. Even when I started playing like 10, 12 plus years ago, I was like on Hydreigon box, and then I was on Aromatisse box, like one of those. Make sure you have all the types of energies, and then you have a specific attacker for a specific scenario. I love finding those pieces, finding the right Pokemon for the deck. I love doing that, so I felt like Terrabox was just perfect for that. And yeah, and it was like a Water Pond was so powerful. So then you just had to add a couple more pieces on how you close out, and I feel like it really helped that I understanding the metagame of what tournament I was bringing it to. Like it was the Filipino Nationals, and I felt like, oh, you know what, Farigiraf becomes like the perfect answer to all the Joltik. It was Joltik box plus the Raging Bolt, for example, auto wins that matchup as long as nothing's prized, and it helps against Gardevoir, so that goes in. And then because I'm solid into all the big basic type decks, I don't need Ursaluna, for example, because Ursaluna is like a staple in the deck, but if I don't need to hit the 220s, I'm just going to wall. So that gets dropped, and that leaves more space to add more things. But yeah, I mean, I love the deck. I feel like it fit my playstyle very, very well. Even Lugia is something like that, right? Lugia has all these energies, and you put in the different tech attackers you want. And so I felt like a good transition. I had a lot of help too. I mean, Clifton Go, one of the best players in Singapore, helped us with the list a lot. And I just felt perfect. Felt perfect for the tournament. Yeah. Don't know what else to add. It's a really good deck.
How do you think it was positioned? Do you think it was positioned pretty well for Worlds at all? Obviously, I think it has a less than awesome Golden Go matchup, but based on this top cut, I still think it would have done pretty well. What do you think? Do you think it was positioned well for Worlds and is maybe positioned decently now, or is the bias speaking to me?
So when I played it in Nationals, I actually beat Golden Go into top 4, right? And and I felt it depends on how you build the deck, right? Because now we in Nationals, that was before we had Marnie's Grimmsnarl, and I felt like that changed a lot of the metagame going into like Worlds. Because of that set brought in Shaman, and then we don't have such a clear answer into a Grimmsnarl deck, right? The Frost Blast, all our Pokemon have abilities. We get pinged a lot, so it changed how the deck was built. Pre Shaman and all that, I felt like we had a really good Goldengo matchup because I had space for both Pikachu and Cornerstone, but unfortunately, I feel like going into Worlds, I can't bring the same Terrabox deck I had in Nationals. So I'd have to cut a couple of things. Like, for example, we were working on like a 1/1 Leafeon line. So that increases the Grimmsnarl, but unfortunately that we have to drop Cornerstone. That means Pikachu is our only out into the Goldengo matchups. Sure. And there's so many different Goldengo decks too, where some of them are playing the bomb, right? At this point, the Goldengo decks are so refined and they have so many tricks that the Terrabox decks isn't as prepared into the tricky Goldengo. If you're a standard Goldengo, yes, I feel like we have I can deal with you. But the people at Worlds are ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm just reminded of our buddy James's list, who he plays Baby Genesect for the A spec shut off. He plays both regular Genesect. For a while, he also cooked up like a slow play list, not slow play specifically, like the strategy, but like he played it with like two Badoos, or like he played a variation of Golden Go that used the Rockets engine for a moment. Just to draw a billion cards, and I was like, dude, what are you there? It's interesting how versatile that deck is, when for a while we really thought Golden Go was just kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Actually, no, yeah, and
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
The fact that it has all these tricks, well, that it has to have these tricks because the Goldango mirror requires you to have like Tool Scrapper, for example, right? That also put me off of the Terror Box deck, because I was really thinking about bringing it to Worlds, but I hated the fact that there was Jamming Tower is a very popular stadium right now. Yeah. The Genesect that shuts off the A spec, and wow, okay, now I can't use my crystal, or I put my crystal on my Pikachu. Okay, I got it down, and now they play Tool Scrapper.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. So
no, I totally get that. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. I always like to talk about tech cards in decks and have interesting takes on lists. Our testing partner Zach, they back when Cornerstone was still highly debated, they put in. Actually, I want to find exactly the name of the card. It is a Flamigo card. We cut Cornerstone. And we put in a single Flamigo. I want to say from Surging Sparks. My mistake. It's from Paradox Rift. It has the combat beak attack for a fighting and a colorless. You do 20 and then 20 for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And that was our answer to the wall decks and to big Terapagos, like the tanky Terapagos. It's so interesting to think like of all the cool cards you can put in. But I remember when Zach told us about that one, we were absolutely shocked.
Yeah. It's a deck that I think we were talking about it because being big Terror Box believers as well, we've been off of it and then back on it. And it's a deck that I think relies heavily on just knowing what your local meta is or what the meta you're playing into is, and then having like the same core like 55, 56 cards and having 4 or 5 different options that you can like pull in and out depending on what that matchup or what that tournament spread is going to look like. So we've been talking about it. We've got a cup today, actually, a little bit later, and we're going to we're talking about running Gravity Mountain in Terra Box, specifically to give Pikachu that kind of edge it needs against stuff like Pull, stuff like Guardy, especially.
Against Marnies as well.
And against Marnies as well. Just to kind of like dodge the less savory stage 2s that we have a harder time into.
Yeah, I like that. That's some that was in like our 61st, 62nd card. So it was something we were thinking about as well. So it depends on how many stage 2s, right? There are.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's an interesting deck. But I guess kind of moving forwards from here, talking about the deck. I'd like to. This is very scattered, by the way. I'm sorry that there is zero flow to the way these questions are going. We just struggled to kind of put it together. But I'm curious to know, going back to kind of the World's experience, I would love to get your take on the announcements that got made, the big reveals, right? Obviously, if you have any thoughts on like the other games like Go, VGC, and Unite, I'm very interested in those as well. But particularly with the new TCG card, the megas that got revealed, anything like that. I don't know if you've indulged yourself in any of the. Well, have there been any substantial leaks? No, it's all been canonized, like been revealed officially. I'm pretty sure. But but yeah, any of the things you've seen from the announcements at Worlds and the upcoming Mega Evolution set, I'm really curious to know what your insight is with those.
I love Megas. Mega Rayquaza is one of my favorite decks of all time.
Yeah.
I know I know people hate the extra prize card mechanic, but honestly, I had fun during tag team, during VMAX. I don't know a time where I literally didn't have fun playing Pokemon. Sometimes faster games are better, the more if you finish a game in 2 attacks, you can move on to the next game. That means more Pokemon played per day.
True.
But yeah, I like Megas. Mega Gardevoir is interesting. Mega Gardevoir is one of the decks I piloted. Oh, back in the day, like the Brilliant Arrow Mega Gardevoir EX. That's I won like a regional in back then, and I became like one of my favorite decks. So one of my favorite Pokemon, excuse me. So now I'm excited to pick up a Mega Gardevoir once again. But yeah, looking at them right now, they don't seem as busted. It's always like this, right? The first one in a first new mechanic in a set. Sometimes they aren't too crazy. I say that as I think Miraidon and Gardevoir EX were the first EX Pokemon, right? Oh,
yeah. True.
Maybe no, but yeah, like sometimes the first ones it's a little mellow, and then like later down the line we'll get like the next Mega Rayquaza. Who knows? It's exciting. Again, megas are always fun. It's when Pokemon get to go Super Saiyan after all.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Excited to see all the new Mega Evolutions too.
Yeah. They revealed Mega Victory Bell and Mega Hawlucha now.
Hawlucha. Yeah.
The Mega Hawlucha looks so sick. If they don't print a good card for that guy, I'll be so disappointed because he's just so cool.
It does 20 damage now when you put it on the bench.
True. you get to do 20 to everybody. Make spread decks really awesome. Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that? I know this one was a little bit what's the word? Divisive perhaps. But the Mega Charizard X, what do you think of that?
We're probably going to be falling into that trap once again. The Reshiram and Zekrom tag team, just it's a card that does big damage, but I feel like we're in like Pokemon right now where doing big damage isn't the most important thing in the world, right? Like right now, like Gardevoir plus Dragapult are the 2 best decks in the format, and they have damage caps, more about spread, right? And Charizard that's just a lot of damage, but we have Raging Bolt right now. We have Goldengo. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I have to see how much, but there's that. How was that? The Oricorio that helps it out too.
EX.
So
they just got rid of my boy Embor before he was even good. So sad.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the deck is put together. I mean, it could be one of those things where it's actually good because you have an earlier Charizard that does big, and then later down the line you pivot into the Charizard, the Terra Charizard EX. Yeah, maybe. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, sure.
I'm more excited for Gardevoir.
Yeah, no, of course. I know it's interesting that you say that. Where we are in like a spread type of meta, because I hadn't considered really that point of view prior. Because I know there's been some negativity, perhaps at least in our circle, about there being so many quote unquote infinite damage cards. But it's so interesting because obviously you have a grander understanding of maybe metas than at least probably some of the folks in our local area. It's cool to see that perspective because I really hadn't considered that. Yeah, you're right. The best decks in format are like those spread and those methodical, like really thinking through your actions type of decks. I know I was big on the Rapid Strike box back in the Paradox Rift format. One of my favorite decks of all time. Probably just like it was so big brain, just like set up your guys, move your damage meticulously, set up a perfect yoga loop.
Yeah.
And I think about spread decks now and I'm like, there's no moment like that. But then you kind of do spend a little more time observing it, and you recognize like, oh no, those monkey dory movements are just as valuable. Those big scream tail KOs are just as valuable as all those things. So that's interesting perspective. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Is there a certain mega other than perhaps Gardevoir that you're really looking forward to come out of the reveals?
Mega Rayquaza, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Again, one of my favorite cards of all time. I love all the megas. I tried. Again, this was when I was the most active, I suppose, like back in the day, like the XY era. So I loved playing even like the Primal Groudon. I tried Primal Kyogre. Those were really fun decks. What were the other? I tried Mega Gengar too back in the day. So I love that. There's a Mega Gengar now.
It looks really good too.
The next set has Mega Gengar and Mega Charizard. I'm gonna be excited just to get some packs. I think that.
Yeah, that'll be the hard part.
yeah, it's definitely a bit there.
No.
No, that's super exciting. Johnny, I think you had a question about what's next, right, with the 2025-2026 season. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was actually going to say, kind of. There's a string of these that I've kind of lined up a little bit, but
sure.
Yeah, what are you? I guess have you started in on your 2025-2026 season yet? I know Worlds just ended, but they technically start the seasons even before Worlds is launched. So you get like a month now before Worlds ever starts to compete.
Yeah, it's a little different here in Asia.
Okay.
Our tournament structure, we have a nationals at the start and at the end of the season. So it's called the Premier Ball and then the Master Ball, right?
Such cool names.
Yeah. So our promos are cool too. We got the stamp of the ball on the card. It's crazy. So our season, our first event is next weekend. Excuse me.
Ooh, okay.
So it's nationals right off the bat.
Oh wow!
I barely have enough time to rest. And we're actually, before this, we were grinding. Me and my partner were grinding games earlier. I was making sure my son was practicing. So I felt like the grind never stopped immediately right after Worlds, right after Disneyland. In fact, we should have even maybe gone to Disneyland. Maybe we should be practicing now. But it's up, right? I mean, like, the prizing for next weekend is whoever wins it, automatic invite to the World Championships. So that would be amazing to just lock in. That means I can just relax the rest of the season. Maybe I can actually cast a couple of events for the Philippines because unfortunately I made the decision to back out locally for Asia. Well, for the Philippines anyway. I had to talk to TPC about it where I do want to earn my invite again because last year's Premier Ball, I was one of the casters. So I immediately missed out on points for that event. And then mid-season, I realized maybe I should be chasing an invite. So that made it a little bit tougher, right? Because I was missing an entire nationals worth of points. But worked out anyway. But so now I'm just fully committed to competing here locally anyway. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm working on a couple of things. Maybe I'll be able to cast other Asia events instead. So that would be interesting. But yeah, no, we're practicing now. Probably not. I don't know if we're going to be bring Bolt again for this event. It's the one we have the most time in, but then meta has evolved. So yeah, we're cramming a little bit, but we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you? I guess are you comfortable leaking the sauce a little bit, so to speak? Do you have anything that you're?
When does this episode come out? No, that's fine. I mean, we're testing out different Goldengo variants just because there's so many at Worlds. So
yeah,
that's definitely something that has to, you have to try out at least everything that came out of the World Championships. Because before this, we were all like, oh, let's all do Sizer in Goldengo.
Ooh,
so
true.
you have to try everything else. I even have that stupid Togekiss build. So Yeah. And then just trying out if Pult, of course, you just see if whatever deck you built or whatever deck you have, if it can face Pult. So we always have Pult built. So that's always an option. And yeah, Terror Box is there too. So you have everything built, really. So
Yeah. Have you considered End Zoroark type stuff at all?
Ooh, yeah. The Enzor, the one that came out of, what was it, top 10, top 8? The one with the Toad Scroll is something I was considering.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, the one where there's no more Darmanitan, and then you just have the Toad Scroll. That seems interesting because you're like, oh, Zoroark innately has good matchups into Dragapult, Gardevoir, and then if you add the Toad Scroll plus Goldengo, and those are the 3 things you want to hit anyway. The thing is, so this upcoming tournament, the Premier Ball one, this is going to be the biggest Filipino tournament of all time.
Oh, wow.
We hit cap. So I mentioned earlier, last year we had a 500 active player base, right? And now I was so surprised because we have 500, they up the player limit because there's a max limit of players that can join the tournaments because of venue and whatnot. So now they upped it to 800, and we hit cap again.
Oh, wow.
We have to open wait lists. So I'm like, there's gonna be a lot of new players. So it's not. Maybe you shouldn't be preparing for the best of the best. For example, you want to cast a wider net, right? That one feels a little bit targeted. Maybe if you've hit the right matchups, and then you start hitting the best of the best players and who are in that net. Yeah, maybe. But then I feel like you have to be good across the board at the very least for this one.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. I think you touched a little bit on it too, with kind of family involvement with it earlier too. So I don't want to rehash that unless you want to go back into that. But
I'm always down to talk about my family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I honestly just what I think. I wanted to, I guess, pick your brain then. What has you most excited for the upcoming season, or I guess the new season this year? Are you more excited to play, or more excited to do casting for some of the bigger events, either the TPCI events, or like you said, if you can lock that invite in early and start casting stuff in TPC regions and get some of the more local ones.
Oh man, there's this season. I'm so excited for everything. I'm even doing VG stuff. I casted VG for TPC before, which is exciting. Cool. Like last year's nationals, I didn't play, so I could cast VG. Or 2 years ago, excuse me. 2 years ago nationals, because I won last year's nationals. No, but yeah, 2 years ago I opted not to play so I could do cast VG, and that was the very first VG cast in the Philippines. So that was that was hype. So yeah, this upcoming season, I'm like doing like a little caster cup with a bunch of other VG players, so we're playing a lot more. So I'm definitely playing a lot more VG. I'm always excited to cast. I feel like it's the dream job. In fact, I get to travel everywhere and just talk about Pokemon. That's not even work,
Yeah.
But then they fly me over, they pay me and all that, and I get to see all of my friends I've made throughout the season. I'm very, very excited to cast, that's for sure, and see where they put me. Fingers crossed I get Worlds through that. I would love to cast the World Championships. I guess it's also bittersweet because I won't be able to partner up with Boo anymore. She was my first partner. She was one of my favorite casters. So fortunately she's not there this season, but she's gonna show up a little every now and then apparently through maybe compete and whatnot. So we'll still see her. Yeah, definitely. I'm always more excited to cast than play. But at the same time, I want to earn my invite too. So
yeah,
I'm gonna try and do it all again.
Yeah, you're gonna have it all. I believe in you.
Yeah, it's actually just to add. I think what I want to improve the most though is be a better coach. I think that's for sure. I feel like my son is gonna give it his all again this season, and I want to make sure I give him the proper tools again. Well, maybe even better, because I think I talked about it earlier, where that was the toughest thing, trying to coach, trying to balance everything out. So again, a lot to work on this season: caster, coach, and player.
Yeah. It's
absolutely.
a new role you're stepping into, so it's for sure something that you probably will see like more of the areas for growth in immediately. Like, oh, here's better ways I can do this, and this. And it's cool to have that opportunity to grow. I think that's valuable for myriad reasons. And also, I mean, if you do end up casting worlds and you're not able to play, then you have more of just like making sure that your family does well. That's a win-win in my book.
Something I'm still scared to happen is I cast one of my family's matches. It's always been so close for it to happen. It was kind of scary too, because I remember Ira, my wife's first season, she did her first season, she did phenomenal, like really, really well. And I was supposed to cast one of the events that she was playing in. And then she made it to the stream, and I was supposed to be one of the casters, but I was doing Portland. I was doing the Portland regional instead, so I wasn't there. But I was watching it, and I was just like, I was watching her on stream, and I was just cursing, like, I was like, oh my god, she has to have it, no. And I was like, wait, I have to be unbiased if I cast her match. I was like, maybe I can't do it. No, but we'll have to see. I almost casted one of my son's matches too, because he almost made it to finals in last year's Premier Ball, which I was a caster in. He missed it by one match, and I was just like, I don't know how I would have done that legitimately. So. Yeah, that's one of those
maybe
things. That's a goal this season. Cast one of their matches.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
that'd be so fun.
I can't imagine a more fitting experience.
Right.
That's so awesome. And then, I guess I kind of wanted to follow up with more expectations for the upcoming season, right? We talked a little bit about like megas and what they have coming through. Are there any decks or archetypes that you're looking forward to seeing evolve and perhaps like playing more of as the season progresses? Maybe any decks that people might have forgotten about, or just stuff that is staying on your radar because it's good.
Just the box style decks, right? I've already talked about how much I think all three of us love Terra Box.
Yeah.
So, and the beauty of that is the more Pokemon added, the more our net is wide for that,
it's
right?
Wide.
If there's a new Pokemon that has requires one colored energy plus 2 colorless, that's immediately maybe consideration for the deck, or maybe even maybe we can even pay the 2 different types of colors. So that's something I always keep an eye on for the Terra Box. But I also really like Ho-Oh Box. I feel like that one's still untapped. The fact that it's a little slower, that requires a stage 1. Maybe we have to get into that metagame where that should be fine. But I feel like the fact that Ho-Oh accelerates to fire immediately, plus the movement of Armarouge is a little stunted, where it's not like move anywhere. If it was move anywhere, I feel like it'd feel a lot better. But move only to the active, we'll have to see. But that's something else too, right? The fact that we have so many special energies now too. We have Prism energy to work with. We have the Legacy energy too. So keep an eye out for box decks. I feel like it's, especially if you can box into like, I can knock out a 3-prizer easily because I just happen to have the right Pokemon. Yeah, it can happen, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Ho-Oh Box and like box style decks, I'm curious, have you seen the new Inferno X cards, including the full Charizard line? This is, by the way, going fully off script, I'm so sorry. But the new Toxtricity, and then the new fire support cards with Heat Burner, Grimsley's Move, and Fire Breather. Have you seen those reveals?
The Fire Breather, is that the one that's 7 fire energy?
Yeah, 7 fire energy, which is crazy. Oh my God,
by the way, triple Ho-Oh, play the fire, get 6 energy into play.
True. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Those type of things. What do you think that there'll be like a fire toolbox type of deck that comes out?
I mean, again, we have Ho-Oh already, right? This is like a deck that made top 32 at the World Championships. So,
that's
and
true.
it feels like it doesn't have all the tools just yet. And if we add more, we're accidentally powering up Charizard. No, we're maybe just adding more to this Firebox deck.
Yep.
Not to mention is that Grimsley, the
Grimsley's
trainer that
move.
looks at the top 7 or top get any dark Pokemon or whatnot.
Yeah,
that seems something that we can play around with. If it's not, it should be a good LDF video or something.
Yeah,
But
certainly.
There's so many good dark Pokemon, you know. Charizard's a dark Pokemon. We have Zoroark. We have Hydreigon. We have the new Mega Gengar, Mega Sharpedo. So many good dark Zoroark, right? Just draw cards. So that should be maybe something we can build towards. I don't know. It seems cool.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in that. Maybe outside of Megas, is there anything else that you want to look forward to? Any events that you're looking forward to as well? It's not just limited to cards. Sorry, I know that's like a very wide and like broad question.
All the events I I'm going to be able to work in are always going to be a good time. The next year's World Championship. That's just, I know we just had our Worlds, but San Francisco has a very special place in my heart. I used to live in San Francisco. I used to work in San Francisco as one of those tech bros, you know, back then. So, so it's always been a special place in my heart. And the new experience, the Pokemon XP. I feel like they're adding so much to the Pokemon Worlds experience that it has to be something I can't wait to see. So if I get to compete, I get to compete. I'll see it. If I don't get to compete, if I get to cast it, I'll get to see it then. If I miss out both, I'll attend as media or as a creator. So no matter what, I'm going to Worlds.
No matter what.
I can't wait to see that.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Awesome. We've kind of reached, I think, the end of our document. Unless, Johnny, have you reached anything else you wanted to look at or talk about?
I think we've kind of covered everything that I had, specific questions about. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. This is, I've had a blast with this, honestly.
Yeah, certainly.
No, this was fun.
Yeah, always glad to have you on, Juancho. I look forward to following up with you at some point about seeing how the season's going. Maybe we'll do it a little sooner. Maybe see what the season's been like prior to Worlds next time, and prior to another major event. But of course, so wonderful having you on. Where can the folks at home find you if they don't already know?
You can find me. I'm mostly active on my Twitter nowadays, so it's at PrimetimeWiz. I really should get back to streaming. It's really should. I want to I have a lot of content ideas I really should work on, but life has just been life. But yeah, on my Twitter, on my Twitch or YouTube, it's Primetime Wizard TV. And then, worst case, just tune into the regional streams that I'm on. I'm there.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much again for coming on. If you, by the way, for folks at home, if you want to get early access to that next interview when we have him on again and any other content we have, be sure to check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/terminalcreative. Get you early access, audience participation. You could have had your very own questions to Juancho read on the show today. You didn't, because none of you have written in questions yet, but you still could. And all those good things are over there at Patreon. So if you want that opportunity, check that out. Be sure to check out Juancho's channel, support his stuff. He's a great guy, awesome caster, awesome player, and general all-around wonderful person. Thank you again for coming on. I forgot how to outro our own show, Johnny. What the heck? Until next time, folks, we'll see you. Peace out.